The official draw for Copa America 2024 is just a week away, and just like we did with the Euros earlier this week, it's time to look at some potential groups that we could see next summer. Guys, Manny G back here with you on Football with Flags. Thanks so much for joining us. Let's get to it. As you can see here, the current pot status for where each team lies based off of their ranking, and of course, different designated rules like the United States being the host, of course, being in pot 1, then the second highest CONCACAF team in Mexico, they're in pot 1 as well, and then it's all CONMEBOL there in pot 2, and then this is where things get a little tricky. As you can see, just Panama in pot 3 with Chile, Venezuela, and Paraguay, and then in pot 4, it's Jamaica, who are ranked 55th, Bolivia, and then the 2 spots still to be determined that will be decided in March for the single-leg CONCACAF playoffs. Now, again, there can only be 2 CONCACAF teams at most in each group once this draw is concluded next week. So this is what we think the pots will look like come next week once the official draw is determined. So this is the realignment we think that will happen. For pot 1 and 2, everything stays the same. But for pot 3, what will happen is Jamaica moves over, and then they will include the 2 teams that win the single-leg playoffs in March for CONCACAF. Meanwhile, in pot 4, they'll slide over Chile, Venezuela, and Paraguay, along with Bolivia. Now, they pretty much did this exact same format in 2016 for Copa America Centenario. And again, it wasn't that all 4 of those teams for CONCACAF were ranked higher in pot 3. It's just that it makes it a lot easier to not have any issues once the official draw comes out. So that way we have just 2 teams at most from CONCACAF in a single group, and we don't have any issues where we have to slide teams over or anything like that. And just for everyone's information as well, you'll see each of the 4 teams that are involved with the CONCACAF single-leg playoff used twice through these 4 different mock draws that you'll see on the screen. So you'll see Trinidad and Tobago twice, Costa Rica, Honduras, and Canada all used throughout these draws, just again to make it fair and even in case any of these teams wind up getting through. So let's go ahead and get started with mock draw number 1. In Group A, we have Argentina, Ecuador, Trinidad and Tobago, and Paraguay. As for Group B, it's Mexico, Peru, Costa Rica, Chile. Group C sees Brazil, Colombia, Panama, and Bolivia. And then for Group D, it's the United States, Uruguay, Jamaica, and Venezuela. And I'll start off with Group D right away. I think that is an enticing group, of course, with the United States and Uruguay more than likely battling for that top spot in the group. But keep an eye out for Jamaica, a team that, again, is very strong in the attack, have a lot of good numbers. We saw a great comeback that they had against Canada to get automatic qualification into this tournament. They certainly are going to want to make their voice heard in this competition. And Venezuela, again, has put on a great performance in World Cup qualifying thus far in the top half of the table. They are not messing around either, and I'm sure that they would be excited for a group like this coming up next summer. But for Group C, really intriguing as well with Brazil, Colombia, and Panama. I think Group B has a fairly wide open race between those 4 sides, and pretty much the same way for Group A for that second place spot. I think Argentina would take care of business, but as for that second place position, I definitely think Ecuador and Paraguay would have a good opportunity each to try and advance out, and Trinidad hopefully just trying to play spoiler. Mock draw number 2 sees Argentina again in Group A with Uruguay, Panama, and Chile. Group B sees Mexico, Peru, Canada, and Bolivia. For Group C, it's Brazil, Ecuador, Jamaica, Venezuela. And Group D is the United States, Colombia, Honduras, and Paraguay. We'll start with Group A, where right off the bat we would see a rematch in the group stage between the final that we had in 2016, as Chile and Argentina would go up against one another again. And really, guys, I think the way that Panama is playing as of late, it would be really difficult for them to get out of this group, but I think that they would give Uruguay and Chile a run for their money, just to at least maybe steal some points off of those 2 sides to make that group interesting to see who possibly could get out as number 2. For Group B, though, with Mexico and Canada, obviously that game would be exciting to watch here on U.S. soil, but Peru, again, and Bolivia have struggled at times to score goals as of late, especially with World Cup qualifying. I definitely think if that type of group were to happen, we could see 2 CONCACAF teams get out to the knockout stage. For Group C, Always love these types of groups where, again, Brazil should be the favorite and advances the top spot. But with those three teams below them, I think it's all bets are off for who could come in second place between Ecuador, Jamaica, and Venezuela. A lot of chaos down there. And then for Group D, I think it would be pretty clear and cut. The United States and Colombia should advance. Meanwhile, Honduras and Paraguay just trying to make the most out of their opportunity in this group. Mock draw number 3 starts with Group A as Mexico, Colombia, Jamaica, and Paraguay are all together. Group B is Argentina, Ecuador, Costa Rica, and Bolivia. Group C is the United States, Peru, Trinidad, Tobago, and Chile. And then Group D is Brazil, Uruguay, Panama, and Venezuela. For Group D, I think, again, those two heavyweights at the top should be able to advance. But if Panama and Venezuela, if one of those two sides are able to take 3 points off the other, I think that definitely opens their door up of the possibility of trying to get through, maybe grabbing a result against Brazil or Uruguay in the group stage to potentially advance. I wouldn't totally write off either one of those sides, but I think if one of those two are able to win against the other, it definitely helps their situation out a lot trying to get through. For Group C, the United States, in my opinion, really should be able to take care of business, but don't forget about Peru. They won their group back in 2016 over Ecuador and Brazil. And again, they got to the semifinals in 2021 in Copa America as well. So they know how to perform here as of late in this competition. And don't forget Chile, of course, the 2016 champions. They know how to win on U.S. soil. So that group would be a lot of fun to watch as well. Group B, Argentina, Ecuador had a great World Cup qualifier here recently. Costa Rica has been up and down, but again, you saw some of the better performances they put together after they got demolished by Spain in the World Cup group stage last November. So they can still put together a good 90 minutes and be competitive. And then Group A, Mexico, Colombia, Jamaica, I think would be a huge battle for those two top spots to try and advance. Meanwhile, Paraguay possibly playing spoiler down there, trying to ruin someone's tournament. Last mock draw, number 4, we'll start with Group A. It's Mexico, Ecuador, Panama, and Paraguay. And then in Group B, it's Argentina, Colombia, Jamaica, Venezuela. Group C is the United States, Uruguay, Canada, and Chile. And then Group D is Brazil, Peru, Honduras, and Bolivia. We'll start with Group A, Mexico, Ecuador, Panama, and Paraguay. Guys, I really think any particular combination of teams in this group could advance, especially if they're in form going into the summer. I think this group is very wide open, and all these teams have a good possibility of trying to advance out of that group, in my opinion. For Group B, Argentina should take care of business, but for that second place spot, I think Colombia have the edge, but do not count out Jamaica and Venezuela down there. And for Group C, boy, oh boy, would this be fascinating to watch. I think this would really be, quote unquote, a group of death, if you will, out of these mock drafts. Again, I know there's other combinations out there as well, but I think this would be a fascinating group to watch. Of course, with the United States and Canada playing, and then you've got Uruguay and Chile, and just the different games, the fluctuation in that group that could come out of it would just be phenomenal. And then Group D, of course, Brazil should take care of business. I think Peru should be able to get second in there as well. I just don't know if Honduras and Bolivia would have enough to challenge those two sides. Guys, as always, thanks so much for watching. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already done so. And please let us know down in the comments which of those 4 mock draws were your favorite, as well as what group of death you would like to see. Any sort of combinations that you would like to see out of this draw, please let us know in the comments. We love interacting with you guys. Don't forget the draw is next Thursday, I believe, December 7th. So make sure you tune in for that. Guys, I hope you have a blessed day. And again, thank you so much for watching, guys. We love making these videos for you and can't wait to continue to do it in the future. So until next time, guys, have a great day. We'll see you soon. Peace.